Thank you so much for joining us today for this chapter of Time-Hopping Hero, Ethan's First Leaps. We truly appreciate you taking the time to read along with us. Just a reminder that the English subtitles for this video are accurate, and YouTube offers some fantastic tools to enhance your learning. If needed, you can use the auto-translate function to view subtitles in your preferred language. You can also slow down the video playback speed if you'd like to listen more carefully. Thanks again for spending your valuable time with us. Enjoy the story. Time-Hopping Hero, Ethan's First Leaps. Copyright 2025. Chunking to Fluency. Chapter 3. The Promise of Time. The next 2 years blurred into focused effort and mounting concern. Ethan, now 12, had become a true partner to Mr. Abernathy. The time machine dominated the workshop, humming with a nascent power. Its console, a labyrinth of dials, pulsed with anticipation. Ethan understood its workings intuitively, even as Mr. Abernathy, though still sharp, moved slower, his energy visibly dwindling. Recognizing their desperate race against time, the old man poured his remaining strength into guiding Ethan, sharing everything about temporal mechanics and whispered theories of future medical breakthroughs. At home, Laura Pruitt's vibrant world was steadily fading. What began as persistent tiredness escalated into something more insidious. Her once nimble fingers fumbled, and her artist's palette remained untouched for days. Laughter was replaced by shallow breaths and a quiet tremor. Thomas, his brow permanently furrowed, spent evenings speaking in hushed, worried tones on the phone, his eyes filled with helpless frustration that echoed deep in Ethan's chest. It was a sweltering August afternoon at the Topeka State Fair when the simmering dread finally erupted. The air hung thick with the scent of popcorn and fried dough. Ethan, clutching melting ice cream, trailed his parents. Laura, usually invigorated by the fair's chaos, seemed unusually pale. As they admired a prize-winning pumpkin, Laura's eyes glazed over. She swayed, a strange, disjointed motion, and before Thomas could catch her, she collapsed to the dusty ground, her body seizing with alarming rigidity. The festive din muted, replaced by the pounding of Ethan's heart as horrified silence descended. The next hours were a blur of flashing lights and sterile smells. Laura was rushed to a local Topeka hospital for tests. Findings were alarming but inconclusive. A week later, after more specialized scans, they were referred to the University Hospital in Kansas City. Here, after agonizing days, the diagnosis came: a rare, rapidly progressive neurological degenerative disease. The doctor's words delivered a grim prognosis: no known cure, swift and unforgiving progression. Back in Mr. Abernathy's workshop, the time machine's hum gained desperate urgency. The race was now against Laura's fading life. Thomas, grappling with the devastating news, often came to the shop, his usual scientific explanations replaced by quiet, desperate pleas for any solution. Mr. Abernathy, clearly declining, became a beacon of resolve. He worked tirelessly, pushing himself, guiding Ethan through the final connections and temporal calibrations. He shared decades of theoretical research, pointing Ethan towards encrypted files and dusty medical journals on future breakthroughs. With Mr. Abernathy's guidance, Ethan devoured information, then spent late nights at the public library, cross-referencing and extrapolating. The goal was clear: launch exactly 75 years into the future, a time distant enough for science to conquer this monstrous disease, but close enough, they hoped, to still make a difference. The last pieces clicked into place. the console glowing, ready. The moment came late one night. Mr. Abernathy, leaning heavily, his face pale but eyes determined, gave Ethan a terse nod. "You know what to do, son. Remember everything." Ethan, heart frantic, climbed in. He set the coordinates, 75 years into the future. He pressed the button. A roar filled the workshop, tearing at existence. The world became a dizzying kaleidoscope, then snapped into focus. He was there. The future was a surreal blend of familiar and new. Ethan immediately sought the largest medical archives. In a sleek, silent future library, walls lined with data streams, a quick query led him to it. A comprehensive file on Paton syndrome. This neurological degenerative disease was now easily treatable, even preventable, with gene therapy and neural regenerators. The information was precise. He downloaded the data onto an encrypted drive. A surge of triumph, mingling with desperate hope. He had it. The cure. The return trip was equally intense. He materialized back in the workshop, the machine's hum fading. Mr. Abernathy, despite weakness, met his wide-eyed gaze. Ethan nodded, holding up the drive, a breathless, "I got it," escaping his lips. But his triumph was short-lived. A single glance at Mr. Abernathy's face, etched with profound grief, told him everything. Thomas met him at the door of their house, eyes red-rimmed, shoulders slumped. "Ethan, your mother." Laura Pruitt lay in her bed, a shadow of her former self. Her breath was shallow. Her clouded eyes still held a faint glimmer of recognition. The cure, painstakingly retrieved, was simply too late. The disease had progressed beyond reversal, its tendrils irrevocably damaging too much. Ethan knelt, clutching the drive. "Mom, I have it! The cure!" he whispered, tears streaming. She reached a trembling hand, touching his cheek. Her voice a bare whisper, each word monumental. "My dearest Ethan, you have such a gift, not just for machines, but for seeing the heart of things. Promise me, my artist, my scientist. Promise me you will use this for more than just yourself. Promise me you will paint the world better with the strokes of time. For the good of mankind, my love." Ethan, choking back a sob, clutched her hand tighter. "I promise, Mom," he vowed, his voice cracking. "I promise I'll honor you in every mission. I'll use this gift for good, for everyone." Her hand slipped. Her breath gently faded, leaving him in a silence far more deafening than any temporal jump. The weight of her final plea and his desperate promise settled upon him, a sacred vow that would guide his every journey into the fabric of time. The end of Chapter 3. Junk phrases of interest. For Chapter 3. Number 1. The focused effort. This chunk refers to a dedicated and concentrated application of energy or attention. Example: completing the project required the focused effort of the entire team. Number 2. His energy visibly dwindling. This chunk refers to a noticeable reduction in a person's vitality or physical capacity. Example: after the long hike, his energy was visibly dwindling. Number 3. The race against time. This chunk refers to a situation where speed is critical due to a looming deadline or impending event. Example: finishing the antidote became the race against time. Number 4. Something more insidious. This chunk refers to a problem or threat that is more cunning or harmful than it appears, developing secretly. Example: the doctor feared it was something more insidious than a common cold. Number 5. The shallow breaths. This chunk refers to breathing that is not deep or full, often indicative of illness, weakness, or distress. Example: after the exertion, all he could manage were the shallow breaths. Number 6. A sweltering afternoon. This chunk refers to an afternoon that is uncomfortably hot and humid. Example: they sought shade during a sweltering afternoon. Number 7. Her eyes glazed over. This chunk refers to someone's eyes that have manifested a physical sign of detachment, weariness, or a medical issue. Example: as the fever rose, her eyes glazed over. Number 8. Blur of flashing lights. This chunk refers to a confused or indistinct impression created by rapidly moving or blinking lights. Example: the accident scene was a blur of flashing lights. Number 9. The inconclusive findings. This chunk refers to research or test results that fail to offer a decisive conclusion. Example: despite many tests, the inconclusive findings left them puzzled. Number 10. The rare degenerative disease. This chunk refers to a medical condition characterized by progressive decline in health or function, not commonly seen. Example: doctors struggled to diagnose the rare degenerative disease. Number 11. The grim prognosis. This chunk refers to a bleak forecast, particularly in a medical context. Example: the family received the grim prognosis from the specialist. Number 12. The unforgiving progression. This chunk refers to a process, especially in illness, that advances without mercy or possibility of slowing. Example: the doctor warned of the unforgiving progression of the condition. Number 13. Desperate urgency. This chunk refers to a powerful and pressing need for quick action due to a critical situation. Example: they worked with desperate urgency to save the patient. Number 14. The devastating news. This chunk refers to information that is profoundly upsetting or destructive. Example: receiving the devastating news changed their lives forever. Number 15. The final plea. This chunk refers to a concluding and heartfelt entreaty made by someone. Example: her last words were the final plea for forgiveness. Number 16. His health clearly declining. This chunk refers to an evident deterioration in a person's well-being. Example: everyone could see his health clearly declining day by day. Number 17. A beacon of resolve. This chunk refers to someone who acts as a powerful symbol or source of unwavering purpose. Example: despite the challenges, she remained a beacon of resolve. Number 18. The encrypted files. This chunk refers to secure electronic documents protected by encryption. Example: he accessed the encrypted files with the correct password. Number 19. The encrypted drive. This chunk refers to a secure portable storage device. Example: the secret plans were saved on the encrypted drive. Number 20. The sacred oath, vow. This chunk refers to a solemn promise or pledge regarded as unbreakable or divinely binding. Example: he made the sacred oath to protect his family. The end of chunk phrases of interest for Chapter 3. We hope that by listening to the story and reviewing the chunk phrases of interest, you've had a chance to increase your English vocabulary in an enjoyable way. If you enjoyed this chapter and want to continue your journey with Ethan and his time-hopping adventures, please subscribe to the Chunking to Fluency channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with anyone who might enjoy it or is learning English. And don't forget to give it a like. Finally, if you hit the notification bell icon, you'll be sure to know when the next chapter of time-hopping hero, Ethan's First Leaps, is released. Thanks again for listening, and we look forward to sharing more stories with you soon. Be blessed.